I think there's something to be said for speakers all around the world talking about a thing. That collective energy is something that I am not immune to. And it feels like a great amount of responsibility. And as I was thinking about this topic, I looked up the word revolution because that's what you do also. And revolution is about overflowing or beating the establishment, destroying the establishment, overthrowing, that was the word I was looking for, thank you, Creative Morning. Overthrowing the establishment. And what I realized was, you know, the establishment is me. The establishment is you. You know, when we talk about revolution, that's somebody else's job. We look for leadership when it comes to revolution. We look for somebody else to tell us how to stand up. We look for somebody else to invite us to have a voice. And as I was thinking about this topic and thinking about what I wanted to share with you, what I realized was revolution is nobody else's job. Revolution is your job. And revolution is my job. And that's what I want to talk about. Whenever I speak, I always say, I'm not here to impart any glorious wisdom on you in the morning. I'm not going to teach you anything you don't already know. I'm not going to share with you anything enlightening. You're going to leave being reminded of stuff you already knew. And with that in mind, I made a little list of what I think we need to see ourselves as revolutionary, to see ourselves as part of revolution, to see ourselves as not the establishment, but change makers, people who have voices, who bring meaning, who make change. So these are those little tips that I want to share with you. I only get 20 minutes. What am I supposed to do? These are things that I've learned. These are things we all learned in kindergarten. These are things that are important to me. I hope that they resonate with you somewhere. The first thing I think that's super important to revolution is showing up. Showing up. Bring your whole self. Bring your energy. Bring your commitment. Show up. Most of us are so afraid of showing up and bringing our voice and being whole and being heard. Most of us have never been given permission to be heard. And we think we need that, and we don't. Showing up. It doesn't matter how you got somewhere. It doesn't matter who invited you. What matters is that you're there. That's what matters. And then showing up and doing your best work, bringing your best voice, bringing commitment, that's what matters. Letting go. Letting go is super important to revolution because we as a culture really care too much about what other people think. We worry so much about other people's approval that we forget to bring our whole selves. Pardon me while I deal with my dry mouth, which is an issue. It's like God's curse on me. I love that I can speak in public. But God forbid I love it too much. Other people don't matter. You matter. Their approval doesn't matter. Your mom doesn't work here. You have to let go. I think behaving is our worst enemy. We are all taught from a very young age to behave, to do what you're told, to do it my way, to follow the plan, to follow in somebody's footsteps, to have a path. It all has to make sense. We have to behave. You need to sit still. You need to listen. You need to pay attention. You need to do it the way everybody else does it. You need to fall in line. You need to wear the right shoes. You got to wear the right clothes. You got to show up the way I'm telling you to show up. Stop behaving. Stop behaving. We are a culture that puts way too much value in behaving, and there's no point to it. There's no point to it. There's no creativity in behaving. There's no creativity in behaving. There's no creativity in thinking like everybody else. There's no creativity in thinking and waiting for other people's approval. There's only creativity when we open it up to a little excitement, a little adventure, a little less behaving, and a little more playing around, a little more breaking the rules, a little less caring about what other people think. I think telling the truth is a critical part of revolution, and none of us is very good at it. We say what we think we're supposed to say, especially when it comes to confronting each other, especially when it comes to confronting things that we struggle with or injustices. We talk about and we talk in ways that we think won't hurt anybody's feelings. And as somebody who is not that person, I can tell you it's kind of fun over here. Telling the truth means open communication, and open communication wins every time. Living your truth, valuing truth, seeking out the truth. There's creativity in truth, but we're often really afraid of the truth. Confrontation is something we avoid. We humans, we are weird. We are weird. God forbid you upset people. You don't want to ruffle any feathers. You don't want to have to defend your position. God forbid. Stand up and piss some people off. Seriously, you know what that gets you? Noticed. And most of us are dying to be seen because we are in a crowd of people that behave. Most of us are dying to be seen and dying to be heard. We have something to contribute, then stop behaving. Stop behaving, stand up, tell the truth. Tell the truth. You don't have to tell the truth like it's a punch in the face. You can tell the truth like it's a hug. One of our company values is to be nice. And I think it sounds so simple, and yet so few of us are really good at it. And myself included. When you walk down the street, how often do you say hello to a total stranger? If you're from Minnesota, it's never. If you live in Minnesota, Minnesota nice is a big fat lie. You walk down the street, you do not make eye contact. Thank God for phones. Thank God they showed up, right? Because now with the phones, we have a perfect excuse for not looking at anyone and not smiling at anyone. When I walked in here today, I was walking up the street, and I watched people avoid each other, avoid eye contact. And one man said hello to me. I practically hugged him. Because I was nervous, you know, I was kind of freaking out. I was off in my own little world. I was thinking, what am I going to say to these people? I got this, but is that going to work? One man said hi to me, and he said, how are you today? And I said, I'm fine. I'm fine, oh my God, somebody cares. But you're responsible for the energy that you bring into rooms, that you bring to exchanges, that you bring to the street, that you bring to creativity. You are. I don't know why we abdicate responsibility for creativity and truth and friendliness and niceness. We look for somebody else to make that first move. We look for somebody else to say hello. We look for somebody else to invite us to conversation. Be that guy. Be that guy. Do you know how great it feels to have a person smile at you and say hello on the street? Be that guy. There is creativity in energy. And you are responsible for energy, your own. Your own. And energy moves people. It moves people. That's revolution. Use your force for good. So I say that, and it's kind of interesting, but if you're in a position of power, and we all have some power, or if you have an advantage, be a positive force. We are a society that is desperate to be seen and heard, and we're desperate for credit. As a result of being one of many, we want credit for our good ideas. We want credit for our creativity. We want somebody to say, wow, you're good. You're good at what you do. I see you. I like you. You're good at what you do. Here's the thing. Share that. Share that and bring other people up with you. I realized a long time ago I'm not good at much, but I get people. And if I pick some really good ones and I surround myself with them and I bring them with me and we share every single victory, my life will be better. And that's what happened. That's what happened. Nina said she was going to slap me if I said anything self-deprecating. I'm not good at much. I told her maybe I'm into that. Revolution. I got a whole list of self-deprecating things over here. Use your force for good. Bring other people with you. Share your victory. Share credit. When you have a good idea and somebody notices it, defer that energy to somebody else who has a good idea too. You can never go wrong when you share credit. You can never go wrong when you share your power, when you take people with you. I know that you want to be heard. I know that you want to be seen. So does everybody around you. Listen. Listen more than you talk. We're all bad at it, right? We've all heard those stories and we've all read the stuff about how people sit there and they're really not listening to you. They're actually waiting to say what they have to say. So they're just waiting for you to stop. They're not actually engaging with you. So you are revolutionary if you listen well. Holy smokes, that's low effort. That's low effort. For you to be a change maker and actually listen and validate other people, that is low effort and completely revolutionary. And there is creativity in other people's energy and voice and opinion. And then with great listening comes collaboration, and wow, collaboration is where it's at, because you on your own, you're fine. But you with other people with great ideas and differing perspectives and different worldviews and experiences, that is possibility. That is opportunity. That is revolution. We all have responsibilities to each other, and the best way to create revolution is to support each other and bring each other up. Some simple lessons that I learned too that I think, I hope you like. If you don't like it, whatever, tweet me, tell me. I don't care, we're not friends. I'm not gonna say hi to you on the street. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you ignore me on the street, whatever, you're just like everybody else. The thing that I think we forget, and a simple thing that I think is actually revolutionary, is to find beauty. You know, I realized a long time ago that when I moved to the city, I know, it's Minneapolis, it's not New York, I don't have that, so I'm not Carrie Bradshaw. When I moved to the city, I forgot to look up. I stopped looking up. I moved here, you know, I grew up in a little town in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we would go out in the summer and lay in the front lawn and look up at the sky because it wasn't unusual to see the Northern Lights often. And here, I see them on the internet. And I think that we are so consumed with ourselves, we are so selfish as humans, we are so narrow in our focus that we've forgotten how to find beauty. And creativity, for some reason, we've forgotten that creativity comes from outside, not inside. And, you know, I'm not a creative. I had a conversation the other day with a beautiful human being who's a creative director at an agency, and he said to me, I reject the notion that there are creative people and people who are not creative. He said, I think creativity is a process, and we get to it by sharing energy with each other. And I agree with him. I think that's true. I have always seen myself as someone who's not terribly creative, but somebody who can contribute to the creative process. But creativity isn't what happens in my head. It isn't what comes out of my, pencil, and it's not my sketches, which are horrible and should never be seen by anyone. That's not creativity. Creativity is what I get to share with other humans. It's my connection with other beings and the world around me, and the beauty that I miss by being selfish and self-consumed and busy. Busy. The cult of busy is killing us and killing creativity. Every decent creative I know is so busy, I don't know where they find it. We wear a badge of honor when we're super busy. Lately I've been reminding people that when we talk to each other, when we ask each other, how are you? Nobody says, I'm great. I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I feel good. I don't have cancer. That's something to celebrate, right? That's good. No, really. I mean, think about it. Nobody talks about how they really feel. They say, I'm busy. That's not an emotion, FYI. Sorry, that dry mouth. Busy. So finding beauty, looking up, looking toward each other to share those moments of beauty, looking for grace. Grace is something that busy forgets. And grace is something that's necessary. Grace and forgiveness. I'm not here to give you a spiritual, inspirational moment, but I will say that in our busyness, we are really, really hard on each other. And we don't forgive very easily. And that collaboration, creativity and collaboration, that comes from feeling safe. And that lack of friendliness, the lack of niceness, the lack of connection, the lack of seeing beauty outside of ourselves, all of those things play into our lack of grace and our willingness to connect with each other, our ability to connect with each other. I think grace is something you have to look for. I think forgiveness is something you have to practice. You have to practice. And oftentimes, it's about keeping your judgment in check. It's not about travesties that other people have committed. It's about your own need to judge other people's behavior. So keeping judgment in check also opens you up to huge amounts of creativity. Practicing forgiveness, being happy, and sharing happy. I'll tell you, happiness like busy. Busy is this thing that we wear. Like, oh my God, I'm so busy. That must tell you that I'm wildly accomplished. If I tell you that I'm super, super busy, that must mean that I am a real professional. Happiness is another thing that we miss. And I'll just challenge you all. And I think this is sort of revolutionary. We have a tendency as humans to say out loud when we don't feel great, right? We talk about when we are unhappy, when we have been cheated, when we didn't get that promotion. We talk out loud when something bad happens. We say that out loud. So we reinforce the lousy. When was the last time you stopped in a moment and said, holy wow, I am so happy right now. I am so happy. This is the best moment. And I think the reason for that, and there's a member of my staff here who has heard me say this, and I say it all the time, and I really believe it. We are deluded as human beings because we believe happy is a thing we get to. And we are all striving for it, and we bitch until we get there, right? Every single day is a series of bitches. Because we haven't reached happy, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to happy. Happy is not that at all. Sorry, I used a B word. Oh, okay, good. Somebody here said I was gonna drop an F-bomb. I wanna talk to her after this. Because I have never dropped an F-bomb on a microphone. So I wanna challenge you all, and I think this is super revolutionary, to notice the happy, to say it out loud. I live with a therapist. My therapist person, not my therapist, that would be weird. I don't live with my therapist. I live with a therapist. I would need a lot of therapy to live with a therapist. Although I recommend therapy highly. I think there's a lot of creativity in therapy. My therapist person reminds me often of how damaging self-talk is. And that's something I don't think about very often. Self-talk is the little demon you carry around with you inside your head who tells you how bad you are at everything. We all have it. I don't care who you are. We talk a lot about women having it. Women haven't cornered the market on self-sabotage, FYI. We share the little demon that sabotages us. And that self-talk is a really important thing, and taking control of that and recognizing those happy moments is of critical importance. So instead of stopping throughout your day to remind yourself of everything that's going wrong, my recommendation to you is to stop in the middle of your day and recognize what feels really right, what feels really good, what you can celebrate. Because that's the energy you're going to take into your next meeting, you're going to take into your next exchange, you're going to take into your relationships, you're going to take to your children, and they deserve that. Everybody you encounter deserves your happy. Not your crappy, you're happy. Stop and notice the happy. Reject busy. Find a reason. Find a cause, find a purpose, get behind some social justice, care about your community. That's revolutionary, and not just because you're a millennial. Millennials don't own giving a shit. We all care. Newsflash, all of us. We all care. But get there, show up and care in person, volunteer some time. Care about communities that are not yours. Participate in the bigger picture. Participate in social change. It's not happening on your phone. That's revolutionary. Do something that isn't career making. Do something that nobody's going to give you a gold star for. Show up where nobody's going to tweet about it. Give yourself a reason. Don't be a victim. Whoa. Nobody likes victim energy. Nobody does. It doesn't happen to you. It doesn't happen to you. You choose. You decide. And finally, love yourself entirely, because nobody else is going to love you like you can. That's revolutionary. Actually embracing all the good things and all the things you struggle with and you're trying to improve, actually putting your arms around all of it and saying, this is entirely me. This is what I'm bringing. I belong here. I am creative. And with the help of the people around me, we can do amazing things. We are revolution. You are revolution. So don't be the establishment, be the revolution. And if you have questions about that, tweet me later or call me. I won't answer the phone. Thanks for having me. That's all I've got.